On your mark. Get set. Go!
So
I'm going to ask you a question. If you don't know the answer, I think the other team doesn't have a clue.
Wrong show.
First of all, apologies to our headphones listeners after the audio on their headphones may have just been blown out by that new intro. Jesus, that was loud.
Yeah. Appropriate comments and commentary in editor's notes and or executive producer's notes have been made on the Discord. If you would like to join said Discord channel, the link will be in the description.
And if your ears are blown out by that, you can send your hate mail to s.garber@gmail.com.
All right. Let's get on topic to begin the show here. Eric, if I may have the screen, please.
Okay, apparently I'm muted. I apologize. So, apologies for the weird...
I got this.
No! I'm the editor. I made that intro. I get to fucking apologize for the fact that I just blew people's ears out. You don't get to shush me about that.
I get to shush him about other stuff.
We'll both shush him on Sunday on Point of View, or how's that sound?
So, to the headphone users, I apologize. That sounded good in render check. I did not realize that it was going to come across that loud through the service that we use. Edits will be made for next week.
Okay. Now then, my apologies for shushing you. Thank you. If we're going to do this, I think we have to do this right, don't we?
Well, before that, we have another disclaimer. We're League of Disclaimers this week. Oh wait,
go ahead. Go back to Brian. Echo.
For those of you who don't know, and we're gonna, obviously do a proper intro and all that in just a second here. This is Price is Right month here on the W2M network. If you like slightly longer podcasts than normal on this show, this is the month for you. To our viewers, we are warning you in advance, some of these episodes this month may get lengthy.
But
we apologize in advance, but it's not going to be off the rails lengthy like the last time we did The Price is Right. This time we actually have structure and order, but with the show of the magnitude of The Price is Right, given the fact that we're dedicating an entire month this time around to covering it, you can imagine the shows may exceed our normal anticipated 60 to 90 minute mark here for Life is Like a Game Show.
But we will not threaten the W2M land speed record.
Look.
You that.
When you mention that makes me want to try for it. But we're not doing that on this show.
No, don't you dare.
A 3-hour tour.
But that concludes our disclaimer. For those of you who stick through us or with us this week through the longer, or this month, with the longer episodes, thank you very much. We hope we don't disappoint you. We do sincerely want to hear your comments about part 2 or take 2 of this on our Discord via our various social media platforms. And for once, you can send compliment emails instead of hate emails, because we don't want hate emails, to s.garmer@gmail.com.
So you don't want everybody to be like Marty Bass? Got it.
No, I want people to be like Marty Bass and send us their honest to goodness constructive criticism and feedback about the show, whether that be good or bad. But obviously, I'm hoping it's on the good side.
I don't know how much of that was actually constructive and how much of that was actually burying, but that's neither here nor there at this point. From the W2M Network studios, it's the most exciting 90-ish minutes.
Whoa.
Wrong era.
Stop. If we're gonna do this right, you need the music in the background.
Wait a minute. Did someone say having music in the background? Oh, look. Look at what we've got here.
Very well. From the W2M Network studios, it's the most exciting 30 minutes? What the hell, Cullen? On television with your hosts, Jonathan Nielsen, Brian Espinosa, Eric Watkins, and Harry Broadhurst. It's the fabulous Price is Right. Oh, wait. That's the Barker era.
That's next week.
That's next week. Okay. So, as you can tell, based on the older variation of the song here, we are going to the Bill Cullen era of The Price is Right here, the start of the show itself back in the 1950s.
Well, from 56 to 61, you would hear this version of the theme.
Let me stop you
on Charles Strauss's Sixth Finger Tune.
Hold on, guys. Rewind 1 second. I know we're eager to get into Cullen and talk about that and Price and popular culture and whatnot. But again, as I mentioned in the disclaimer, this is Price is Right month here on Life is Like a Game Show on the W2M network.
Where
you can find us everywhere on social media video platforms of choice, such as twitter.com/W2M network.
Technically, I can't because he's doing my job for me. So
he's overstepping Harry doing it. Whose line is it anyway is not going to be seen tonight.
Oh, like we didn't play the roulette game. Like we didn't play this roulette game last week while everybody else was doing everybody else's gimmick.
Wait. First of all, first order of business.
On a more serious note, as we do get into things here, I will let these other two guys do the plugging in a moment, since apparently they're being adamant that it's their job.
I have to have a reason for being here.
Yes, your reason this month is to keep us from going into uncontained, spiraling out of control chaos. Did you not listen to the last the first version of this that we did?
I think, Brian, you're rambling. Once I was told, the past 8.5 minutes has already done that.
Well, if I don't keep getting interrupted and having to explain stuff, I can get to the point of you guys are moving a little bit too fast and getting into the meat potatoes of the show when we haven't even told the viewers what we're covering yet this month.
I just named the intro theme that we played. That's it.
Which is what I was about to do. For example, good evening, afternoon, whenever you happen to be listening, and welcome to Life is Like a Game Show, a presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening and viewing services such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox. Rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify and check us out on Apple Pod and Google Podcast as well. I'm sure there's a couple of others that Eric will mention later on in the show. If you prefer your podcasts in a visual format, then you can find us on Twitch.tv, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter with a presentation of the W2M Network here. As Brian was mentioning, this is the reintroduction and the re-deep dive of the greatest game show of all time tournament winner, The Price is Right. This will be a 4-part episode. The first part that you are about to take part in with us, but that's all, folks. This will be Price is Right in pop culture. Hope you feel better, Fonty.
I'm sorry, but
Fonty.
eating on air is a W2M network gimmick exclusive.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
The episode that you are about to check out is Price is Right in popular culture, the Bill Cullen era, and there was another part to this that I always seem to forget, Brian. But those are the two main parts of it.
Am I okay? Let's see. What were we doing? Hold on. Let me jump back myself. So introduction to the Reed Deep Dive. Price and pop. God damn it, gimmick infringement. My ass. I invented the gimmick of eating on air.
Plus, gimmick infringement is a W2M network exclusive.
Yes, we're talking about the introduction to the Reed Deep Dive.
Which I've done.
I think we've probably pretty much covered at this point. Yes, hi, TLDR. Last time we did this, it was so bad that it was bad.
A 3-hour tour.
We need Harry. Thank you, Harry. We're going to do this right. We're going to talk about Price and popular culture, and then we're going to talk about the first two versions of Price, which was the 56 to 65.
Which is your half-hour edition of The Price is Right, hosted by Bill Cullen, as we've talked about earlier. We will get back to that a little bit later on in this episode. Next week...
To quote a popular or a semi-popular Star Trek meme, it's The Price is Right, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's The Price is Right, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. I ventured out on a ledge for that one. I'll take my Bob Barker.
The modern host is not impressed.
It is true, though. This The Price is Right, but not as you know it.
That version of The Price is Right is next week here on Life is Like a Game Show. Segue! Following that will be the Drew Carey era in 2 weeks' time. And then we will wrap up Price is Right month with international editions, syndicated versions, and primetime specials, including Tribute to the Troops, honoring the healthcare workers during the course of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, and my personal favorite of the specials, the $1 Million late night editions of The Price is Right.
And the 50th anniversary edition, where we happen to be doing the first one.
Yeah, ironically, we were recording the first episode that went off the rails absolutely horribly during the airing of the 50th anniversary. So now we get to talk about that as well.
And if you're wondering about the perfect bid, week 3.
Hey, the perfect bid is important, right? Like, you can't not talk about a deep dive of Price is Right without talking.
And that's why I brought it up. Week 3.
I don't disagree, but maybe save it for when we talk about what's coming later on in the episode.
We're talking about what's coming right now.
No, we're talking about this episode. Shut up, Eric. We're talking about this episode. We'll talk about what's coming. We will talk about what's coming in future episodes a little bit later on. All right. That being said, let's rein this
because we literally just said what's coming in future episodes, and now you're saying we're going to break down what we're going to discuss in the Barker and the Carey eras when we get to the end of the show and we talk about those episodes, is what I was trying to get at. Anyways, while Eric recovers, we'll take a quick moment here and let you know, are we still doing the Grammarly ad reads? Because I feel like we could use one right about now.
No, there's going to be different ad reads, but I have to still get in touch with Mr. Hate Mail himself because there are supposed to be different dealings about that, so I'm not 100% sure.
You know what we can do an ad read for?
Very well. Bet on Bovada.
Rich TNT LLC.
Bet on Bovada. 21 means 21, motherfuckers.
My gimmick.
Whoa, hang on. Where's the thing? Where's the thing?
That's why. You know
First
what?
of all,
I'm
first
just going to
of-
sit here on mute and eat my sandwich for the rest of the episode.
Okay, first of all, the banner in question is right here. Second of all, if you're going to steal his gimmick, would you at least steal his gimmick properly?
That's his thing. I just wanted to kind of jump in there because he's been stealing my shtick for the last 3 weeks on this show.
And being erupted usually what I end up receiving.
I mean, you're not wrong here. All right. Do we have any further monkey business? No pun intended. Before we actually get into the deep dive here of The Price is Right, when we talk price pop culture, I do not want a monkey for my monkey deep dive. I'm saying no, anyways.
You know, y'all are making it very difficult for me to behave myself because everything is here and I'm trying to keep it here, but I end up going over there. You don't want me to keep going over there.
I think as a group, we are all very disjointed this evening, and it's not disjointed in a good way at the moment.
We'll get back on track here and we will discuss. Mr. Nielsen.
Is it time for the non-academic credible source?
It is.
Before you do, yes.
Not that
we
there's
have to
anything
read
wrong
this.
with that.
Yeah, this is getting a homoerotic with everyone grabbing each other's shticks. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that.
More about shtick when you go watch our review of 21 coming next month or later this month. Herb Stempel.
He's referring to the on trial that we did. We'll plug that a little bit later on in the show. Shut up, Eric.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm honestly trying.
Mr. Nielsen, if you're going to the non-credible academic resource, specifically focus on Price is Right in pop culture, please.
Would I be able to have some nice 1961 theme music in the background here?
If you could kindly hold while I present that music.
I believe Eric could probably make that work. While Eric does make that work, we'll take a quick moment here and we'll tell you about what Mr. Nielsen just mentioned there, since we need a few seconds. Well, I guess I don't have time to tell you about it.
I told you. I had this going.
Eric works quick. All right, Mr. Nielsen, the non-credible academic for Price is Right in pop culture, please.
The Price is Right. This show has been on the air, not continuously, since 1956. This is 2012. I have been at work a very long time today. Eric, can I get some quick math?
First of all, it's 2022, so...
Can I tell you how long a day it is?
Yes, so if you're talking since 1956, that was a debut 66 years ago.
I feel old. But, I mean, you have such things as... Oh, the number of times this show has been parodied is not even funny.
And most of the parodies weren't funny either.
To which point, one that some people don't find funny here. I need to get a screen share up. All right, we can get rid of that 61. You have things like paramedics come on down. Family Guy, you spoof everything game shows, and we love you for it, but this one I think went a little too far. But anytime you're here, closest without going over, that goes all the way back to the 50s.
Don't mind me, I'm just getting
I
other
don't
things
remember
that have
the
been
Family
queued
Guy
up.
parody.
You don't remember this?
I don't. I think for most people the most infamous parody is Bob Barker himself appearing on Happy Gilmore.
Bob on Happy Gilmore.
And The Price is Wrong,
was
bitch.
a thing. Now I've had enough.
Wait a minute. All
Wait a
right.
minute.
I
if my
sense Eric's
computer-
mind working
Yes.
something over there. Are we about to play the Family Guy clip?
Oh, great. Now
Ah.
it's buffering.
And it's not only is it buffering, it's also closed captioning.
For the hearing impaired.
Green's that way. Sure. You will not make this putt, you jackass.
How much of this can we show before we legally have to stop it?
I think we're good here.
Mhm.
Mad
I mean,
TV
I'll get back
parodied
to
this
the
show.
highlight.
SNL parodied this show.
If movie clips can upload tons of clips, including a 3-minute version of it with the iconic catchphrase, I think we're fine. We're definitely under fair use because we're actually talking about the clips themselves. So I say fuck it, show them in their entirety.
I mean, it does make sense that this would be licensable under fair usage law.
Well, then I'll have to go back, and then luckily, I have a history because, as certain machinations go on behind the scenes, but I'm going to get to the good part.
All right, so while he does that, go ahead and continue your list of some of the other prices right in popular culture there, Jonathan.
Bob Barker's gotten around the late night circuit as well. Yeah, go ahead. There's no sound here, so I can talk over it and be. Craig's like, "Who's that at the door?" Oh, hey, it's Bob Barker. With announcer at the time, Rich Fields, couple of miles as well.
Barker's Beauties.
Yes, Barker's Beauties.
Oh, what
a
could
little
have
bit later on. Bob's talking about this desk this quote unquote desk that Craig has in front of him. It is very flimsy quality. It is such flimsy quality.
How flimsy quality is it?
Watch what Bob Barker's about to do to this desk. Mind you, he was trained by Chuck Norris.
I will remind you guys that isn't there like a 3-minute build before he actually does this?
He broke his right hand, but he can do his left hand. And see, you got to build up tension like a true game show. So he showed us the expertise that he developed in 35 years of hosting The Price is Right, building up to a climactic moment. Something he doesn't get that often in his late age here.
Basically, this is the Regis Philbin school of build.
I mean, this is where it came from.
He's not wrong. Okay, and
stand back, doesn't want anybody to get injured.
He loves doing this on hole-in-one in
absolutely.
particular.
And one shot straight through. Goodbye, desk.
Now, since you had mentioned him being trained by Chuck Norris, you can obviously see where that comes in this particular clip that we showed the prelude to earlier.
I think you should be working at the snack bar. You better relax, Bob. There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf. All right, let's go. Oh! You like that, old man? You want a piece of me? I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing. Oh!
4 seconds.
Which would have been funnier if he was wearing an Islanders jersey.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
Or a Lightning jersey.
Nah, the Bruins are a more legitimate team than the Islanders.
You want to come down to this video box and say that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't sink that low in the standings.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Took a page out of the Undertaker's book there.
Goozle!
think you've had enough. No. Now you've had enough. Bitch.
There's something just wrong about hearing the voice of my childhood call somebody a bitch.
There's more. There's more.
Yeah.
Do you have the Family Guy parody? Or are we going to risk playing that? Because I feel like Family Guy could get us in trouble.
Family Guy, no. But there are a couple of others that were mentioned. In particular, Mad TV.
It's a 6-minute clip. Yes, we won't get in trouble for playing the full 6 minutes. Yes, you're going to play the full 6 minutes.
Just because you're going to sit there and eat your damn sandwich this whole time.
I'm sorry if I'm not the one who found the most definitive Price is Right in popular culture list ever, and am now backtracking the YouTube clips and references from it, so we have stuff to show on air.
Can we kill the German closed captions?
No,
they're part of the video, and they're not German; they're Dutch.
I was about to say there are a lot fewer umlauts for it to be German.
Don't ask me why I know that's Dutch.
And welcome to The Price is Right. We are celebrating our 5th and final year on the air.
This isn't Dutch.
No. Now, I want to go out on top. It's like I told Rod. If
I'm
I was
almost
still doing
positive
this show
that's
in
Dutch.
30 years,
This
I'm gonna
is
shoot myself in the
Norwegian.
mouth.
The timing here is a little off in terms of the years that Roddy versus who actually was announcing back in the 70s. But
This is Norwegian. Don't ask me how I know.
Oh, she's got skates on. This ends poorly.
this contestant, I believe, would need to get serious, to quote a certain famous contestant's shirt.
I must give credit where credit is due. I am very impressed that she did not eat it coming down the steps.
Practice. Lots and lots of practice.
That's moderately racist. But it
This
is
is Mad
Bobby Lee.
TV in the early 2000s.
I was about to say,
This is
not to mention the-
lowbrow. This is lowbrow SNL.
I mean, hell, it was Fox. What do you expect?
Fox don't know
Based
how
off-
to do game shows.
I mean, I chose this clip instead of a different other Price is Right parody, which we will view Friday night, or sorry, whenever the hell we're doing Point of Viewer now.
Sunday night, and I have some announcements on that at the end of the show.
Easy to see buttons and a state-of-the-art LED display. This baby can add and also subtract, and it can be yours if the price is right.
a giant ass calculator.
Right on. Now, contestants, I need your bids, so Black Man will start with you.
I'm gonna go high and say $400.
What about you, Foxy Lady?
401.
Looks like the
The
battle
Farrah
of the
Fawcett hair.
is on. What about you, Chinese man?
$402.
Awesome. And finally, what about you, hot mama?
Oh gosh, I'm just a housewife. My husband is the boss of me. I've never had to think before. Okay, $7,000.
What a dumb broad. The actual retail price is $400 exactly. Apollo Jackson, you can
$100 in the pocket.
boy.
It's a parody, John. Stop taking it seriously.
I did too. That was dynamite.
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
Want to win this?
I recognize the voice.
Ari Spears.
There you go.
Ford. This fiery hatchback has an explosive 4-speed manual transmission. Throw the kids in the spacious back seat and you'll be burning down the highway. Ignite an inferno of fun. Years from now, they'll still be recalling the Pinto. It's hot, hot, hot. And it can be yours if the price is right.
Brian's losing his shit at his own clip.
Am I the only one that doesn't find the Pinto puns funny?
I am. I do.
Of Alberto VO5 and fun-to-use aerosol cans. Coming on to a foxy coworker, make her want it with the forceful, pungent scent of Aquavelva. Aquavelva, it's a kids' world. Ladies, want to look like Farrah Fawcett? Pop open a tab. Fill the lid with delicious saccharin, the chemically treated sweetener, and tasty red dye number 2. Tab, the soft drink from the lab.
Now, Apollo, all you have to do is arrange these items' prices in order from lowest to highest. You dig, my brother?
It might just be coincidence, but the VO5, the Aquavelva, and the Tab, them is the exact name of my kids. All right, I'm gonna start here with the Tab. All right, then I'm gonna go with the VO5, and then I'm gonna do the Aquavelva here.
Let's see how you did. The Tab costs 10 cents. The VO5 costs 29 cents.
Bobby Lee just can't help but get naked.
Am I watching playoff football or something? Normally that wouldn't be on camera.
Must be an ancient Chinese secret. Back to the game. The Aquavelva costs $1.25. Apollo, you have won a brand new Ford Pinto. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, help increase the pet population. Make sure your dog gets laid.
I guess that's why that version only lasted 5 years.
I just have to say, can we take a moment to appreciate two things the most out of this whole clip? One, the faithful parody recreation of the Price is Right theme that's so good that it's not the real theme, but it's damn close.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, Frank Caliendo is Rod Roddy.
I mean, the man is
any voice.
The man is the modern day king of impressions. It would have been wrong if you had anybody else do Rod Roddy.
I will say this. I will say this much about that clip, Brian. I am impressed that the bit with the Pinto had a decent payoff. Unmute your microphone.
I was getting to it.
You're like
Not
me
like
on
certain someone else at this network.
On
You're
trial,
still
perhaps?
muted, Harry. You're still muted.
You know what's on trial? My microphone skills.
That will become evidenced in about 18 days on trial.
Yeah,
19,
no,
but math.
Mad TV actually did. They did that parody. They did the one with Lorraine. They did a second one, which I can't spoil the punchline because this is a family show. But they did another. And then they did the caveman version of The Price is Right.
Yes.
Okay, I've heard about that, but I've never seen that clip.
I mean, I can find it. I don't know if I want to show it. But...
Make it so.
Well, I mean, there's already two more things queued up since we're talking.
I mean, I could continue to queue stuff up. I'm not kidding when I said I found the definitive list of The Price is Right in popular culture. Hi, I'm the research person of our team.
As opposed to the non-credible academic research person?
No, all he does is read stuff off of a Wikipedia article. I mean, a non-verifiable academic resource article.
And know the old stuff that none of you kids would know. Get off my lawn.
You realize I'm like not that much younger than you, right?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, game show, wiki.
I was about to say we've used the game shows wiki a couple of times on the show before too. So, all right,
we do have that. Ironically, that you mentioned that. That's actually where I have found the definitive source of all things Price is Right in popular culture.
And you mock me for using the wikis.
So what you're going to do then is you're going to send that link to Mr. Watkins so he can include it in the show description.
So we can avoid any sort of threat or mimicry of the you-know-what that I'm not going to tempt you by saying out loud.
A certain place where this video will find its way eventually, and hopefully will garner an income.
I'm confused by what you mean, Eric. The
LSR, if you catch my drift.
Still no. Sorry.
You might as well just say it at this point.
Bob Barker is not amused.
All this time I
just type it in the chat or something. I don't.
No, not that. What I was saying was
I was more worried about that, but
if we get content ID flagged, we're going to get demonetized on it anyways, and we might get content ID flagged, but it's a part of the show, so
first of all, if anything, that would be a copyright claim and not a copyright strike. And second of all, you're the one who keeps saying every time I mention the land speed record, you get tempted to do it. So I was trying to say that without directly saying that, and whoosh.
Do you really think I'm going to actually attempt to take us to the land speed record? Dude, it's midnight. I don't want to be up doing this show for another 4 hours.
I think you're in the full screen there, sir.
The land speed record is more appropriate for a League to the Max or whatever, or a point of viewer, not a Life is Like the Game show. At most, we could push this to 3 hours. Like the original first episode, because there is a hell of a lot more Price is Right in popular culture than I originally anticipated. So I'm actually kind of glad that I formatted the week the way I did, or the month the way I did.
Well, there's probably not going to be a whole lot to talk about from the Cullen era either.
I did some research on that angle, sir.
Allow me to explain that statement here. I would imagine that you guys have probably seen more episodes than I have of the Cullen era. It's a safe assumption. I'm imagining.
To be honest with you, I haven't seen one.
I was about to say, though, I'm not sure how much of that is readily available still, other than maybe a couple episodes here and there on YouTube, perhaps.
Because you take place big processes of the 50s and 60s.
What I was going to say before I was interrupted is, I would imagine that even though Game Show Network used to air a lot of the older versions of The Price is Right, most of the older versions of The Price is Right that they used to air would fall under the now Roku channel version or the now Pluto TV channel version, the Bob Barker era, 70s, 80s, into the 90s. Nothing going back. You might occasionally get an episode or two from the 50s and 60s, but there wasn't any kind of reliable sourcing for that, even going back to when the old reruns used to air on GSN.
Thank you very much. Black and White Sunday night.
Black and White Sunday night, they'd pull an episode here or there.
I will tell you that
a lot of those tapes were wiped.
I will tell you guys plain and simple. The Bill Cullen era, The Price is Right, I've seen maybe 2 episodes.
That's all you need, really.
It's not until Bob, and that's what I'm saying, that there's not really a ton to talk about from that era, just because not a whole lot of that video footage still exists in readily available form. I have no idea what that says.
Hold on, I'm going to zoom in.
Thank you.
Because it's all widescreen.
Oh, hey,
and
webcomic.
Ah,
I
okay.
love this artist.
I remember this one now.
The cost is correct.
Golf clap. All
Oh,
right.
that's
So
weird.
apparently Espinoza found the aforementioned caveman clip from Mad TV. I feel like this might offend some people. So if you were easily offended, maybe, don't watch, don't listen.
I
whatever.
promise you, we saved the clip that was offensive.
What
I
is
will
that?
swear to you
Is
on
that the other one that I have queued up?
The one that's not Lorraine, the Anita Long, etc. one?
No, the robot chicken one. Because I
Oh,
got this
no,
one.
no. Anything that
Robot chicken.
anything that I've linked to in the chat is fine. I did not link to that one in our private.
Have
chat.
Are we going to discuss real quick before we play the clip here, Eric? Since it's a pause for a second, I can say this. Are we going to discuss the pop outs? Because they have happened.
The what?
Pop
The
outs.
pop outs, the wardrobe malfunctions.
That's more part of Barker.
That's a Barker exclusive.
That's probably better covered under next week with the Barker era.
Or uncovered, as the case may be.
Hi-oh!
Because, yes, fuck it.
Go ahead, Brian.
W2M cares.
He's muted on purpose. He's muted on purpose.
Did I just blow out his eardrums with the "We Do It Live"? If so, I apologize. It was louder than I intended.
I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying, so just roll the clip.
Just think, Sunday is right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it.
Oh, if Harry's on, I'm going to say this to both of you. Payback is a bitch.
And just think, I have us a sponsor and could be arranging us some interviews. I'm just saying.
I may be available Sunday. I will let you know.
Get up off your fat ass and get a job, you lazy butt-ugly pig! Here's another classic Price is Right episode from 1134 BC.
Hey, people! Friday, this Price Right! Now, here, Price Right host, Rob. Hello! Welcome to show! Thank you. Welcome to show. Me very happy to be here. Me been doing show long time, ever since Walkie Wrecked. Hey, Agrati, we need new contestants at 4 Big Boulders. Mooga off River, come down!
Mooga off Flibber.
Jedi's bone musician,
Missing link.
And Party
Pause. There's a reference here. So, 1962, the Flintstones actually parodied the original Price is Right with a episode entitled, wait for it, The Prize is Priced. At some point in there, Barney says, I'll just put in my 2 cents, and bam, he's locked in with a bit of 2 cents. Proceed.
Get new set of digging implements. From Roy Hill, these nice tools.
From Roy Hill.
Will tack village. You dig block, You dig easy from Roy Hill, and you get tools if name right price.
Muga of River, what bid?
Me bid 8 stones.
It's a living.
Deadeye Bone Musician, what bid?
Me bid 8 stones, 1 pebble.
Missing Link, what bid? Easy Link, just game. Sorry, Link, you gave me no choice. Barney Rubble, what bid?
Well, Rock, my son Bam Bam would really love those digging tools. So I'm going to say 2 clams.
Actual price of digging tools is 8 stones, 3 pebbles. Deadeye Bone Musician, you win. You play for this.
Get fire! Fire, the all-natural heat source. It creates right late-night cave draw. Make wet surface dry, perfect for romantic hot sessions. Fire also ward away mud monsters. But be careful, fire burns. That fire, what can it do?
Thank you, Agrati. Deadeye, this game called Matchup. Agrati, tell us a little about prizes.
First up, it wheel. It round. Be not sure it's used yet. The wheel from Goodyear. Next, how about some fish grease? Cook with it. Put in hair, cover wounds, fish grease. From the people who brought you frog grease. How about snack bag of bugs? Crunchy shells, crispy wings, low carbs. Snack bag of bugs by Oodco. And finally, it's an electric razor from Rengo. Its sleek design and aloe strip, it's the perfect gift for dads and brats. Rengo making the future smooth.
Thank you, Agrati.
That's a paid deal.
Our prices: 8 dead people teeth, 5 live people teeth, 1 nose bone, and 42 mud balls. Match up prices with products.
Not a paid deal, an actual parody of the fact that Norelco's, at least in the 90s, were on practically every Price is Right episode.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
Deadeye Bone Musician, you win
Fire burn.
I'm afraid that all time we have. Time? What that? Oh well. Help control mud monster population. Have mud monsters spayed and neutered.
Price Right.
All right, less offensive than I thought it would be. I feel like that could have won.
Again, I have to point out Frank Caliendo is Rod Roddy.
Yes, absolute yes.
And Johnny Olson and George Gray and any other voice you need him to do?
No.
I feel like
they only parodied Rod Roddy because Rod Roddy is and we're gonna argue this next week. I'm almost positive of it. So save your hate mail and your debating and your argument for next week on this topic. But Rod Roddy, definitely the most iconic announcer associated with The Price is Right.
I don't think that there's any question about that. I think the bigger question about that would be, is Rod Roddy the most iconic voice associated with a particular game show ever?
Again, we get to talk about that next week during the Bob Barker era.
But let me talk about this week as I segue us into the 56 version.
Real
I'm
quick
sorry,
before
I can't send my voice that high, Harry.
we'll get to that in a second. Be forewarned, gentlemen. What Brian just brought up next week, I've got a question.
Oh, wait, oh.
Coming next week here on Life is Like a Game Show.
And I assure you, that will definitely be my final thought as well.
Man, we're laying the shtick on heavy early, aren't we? All right.
Well, I mean, at least we don't know.
No, you sons of bitches keep stealing my shticks, which is why I'm infringing on all your shit, because W2M Network's gimmick infringement is a W2M Network gimmick exclusive.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
that's
besides,
it's not. Bitch Nielsen didn't.
Yes, he did. I mean, besides, it's not like we're gonna have anything else to talk about, so we won't have
Okay,
to worry
turn
about
off his. Real quick before we go any further. Turn off.
You got any more lower third
camera.
bugs for us
He's
to plug
suspended.
in there, Watkins? Or do
No.
I need to actually do it properly and bet on Bovada that the discussion that we're going to be talking about next week will definitely include Rod Ryder?
All right.
21 means 21, goddammit. Obey your local gambling laws.
Well, I was gonna say, while we send him through the drop zone, I have another clip to play, but
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Go
there
ahead
are no
and
red lights here tonight, buddy.
boot Nielsen off for stealing my W2M stuff. That's no bueno. That's later in the show anyway.
Anyways, can we get to 56 finally at 50
No.
minutes into the show?
No,
I think we have more clips to show, don't we, for Price and Pop Culture?
there is a lot to cover in Price and popular culture.
I know I have one more.
Look. I did warn the folks at the beginning of the episode this was going to run longer than normal. If we hit 2 hours, 2.5 hours, we can't really complain this whole month because we know that the content is there for it.
Not to
Provided
mention
we don't go too goddamn crazy off the rails like we did last time, and Harry can somehow manage to keep us
I'm
all in line.
trying. What I was about to say, no, but zip. What
You
I
took
was
the
about
glasses off. That means something.
What I was about to say is we are currently going through Price and Pop Culture right now. The reason we're saving the 56 through 65 version, or 63, 60. I was right the first time. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
you were.
All right. Before we get into that, this is going to be the
63 was the network jump.
He's capable of learning.
It's scary. Anyways, okay, that was funny. Anyways, what I was about to say was these are moments. Are you giving yourself a monkey for that?
We wanted to give you one, but
go ahead.
No, blame him. He ruined the
No, that's a
unanimity.
majority. No, that's a majority. It's
That's
majority rules, not
No.
unanimous rules.
No, we agreed.
It's still
it had
2-1. No. We've always said it was unanimous, not it was majority, not unanimous.
Majority rules. Award
It has
monkey.
to be. It has to be unanimous for Barker.
It has to be unanimous for Bob Barker is not abused.
All right, back to it. This is going to include the modern stuff that people know. When we get into the later part of the episode, the historian part of the episode.
As a point of reference, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about with Price and popular culture is indeed referencing Bob Barker because of his 35-year tenure as host of the show.
The older stuff will be more for the game show historians that are checking out this podcast, which is why that's backdated towards the back end of the podcast. We will have some chapter marks, or at least attempt to, Mr. Watkins-ish. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yes.
He's giving you
that's
that
ish.
glare of you some bitch.
Yeah. Different reasons.
Or I
the
could
chapter part
interleave
is
some
easy.
questions about that version as we get to it, such as you're asking about an announcer debate. So I ask you a question. Don Pardo or Johnny Gilbert?
Pardo for Price, just because I associate Gilbert more with Jeopardy.
You know what? Let him have his moment of running through the 50s Price. Trust me when I say there is enough Price is Right content in popular culture that we could bookend the show with it.
I just figured it made more sense to go through Price and pop culture.
No, I agree with you, but so it'll shut Nielsen up and get him off of his antsy-pantsy fidgety cactus.
How dare you?
You know what? I can't tonight. I can't.
On a scale of 1 to even, he can't. And as the host, I'm telling him to wait his turn. That's me putting my foot down. All right, Eric.
You know what, folks? All point of view is going to be solid gold this week because I'm holding back. Trust me.
You're holding back. Oh, yeah, we're both holding back.
Don't worry. You'll have your chances to get out some more frustration a little later on in this week. More on that later on in this episode.
So, with the other clip I had queued up, unless you had something else to say?
Go for it. More Price and pop culture, please.
This is Bob Barker.
Chicken.
Ending my last show, reminding you to help control the pet population. Spay or neuter your pets today. So long, everybody. Hey, Phil, have you spayed or neutered your pet today?
Nah, I'll do it tomorrow.
You really should do it today.
Whatever.
I'd say that's $30 for the hedge clippers,
Right.
$12.48 for the hair trimmer,
Right.
and $18.29 for the chloroform.
Right again, Bob.
I've never felt so alive. All those years of talking about it, and now I'm actually doing something about it.
Oh.
No more hairballs for you. Come on now.
The horses are at the starting gate.
God. Jeez.
With the help of flowers and some very white, we hope Django will finally impregnate Ming Li and save the species.
Yo, boss, this is crazy. We gotta watch our backs if we're gonna save our sacks. You got a plan?
The mysterious castrating vigilante has struck again.
Gotta watch your balls.
Show starts today.
This dog show's a no-show.
I expect better manners from my guests, Bob.
I should have known.
That's right. And there's no way you're gonna shovel my nizzle.
It's for the good of the pet population.
Such artistry.
I mean, there's a reason why Robot Chickens won so many awards, and they're considered the top tier of claymation and stop motion animation.
I'm 83 years old, stupid. I've been shooting dust for years, but I wouldn't mind a replacement. Ah, my nuts. You're in deep trouble, friend. Balls, Dick. Spay or neuter your pets today.
You, Bob.
Ah. That was definitely worth it. See, and we got him to shut up anyways. We all win.
I don't know what to say to that. Honestly, don't.
Look, y'all wanted Price and popular culture. I'm getting Price and popular culture from shit that people recognize. Because I'm telling you, this list is gigantically long, and I don't know 75% of the shit that's on it.
I would say maybe up to like the hour and a half mark-ish with Price and pop culture. And then we'll go into the Bill Cullen era.
Did we play? Did we
give
play
us
the
another half
Celebrity
an hour
Deathmatch yet?
Oh, now you're finally getting to the good shit. Bring it.
Okay, yeah, I was a big fan of Celebrity Deathmatch, so I'm willing to watch this one too. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Well, now
right.
we actually have to wait so that way he can actually go through and find it.
Real quick, before we go any further, I will offer an honorary monkey for the Mills Lane reference. Well played, Mr. Nielsen.
Good fight. Good night.
Indeed. All right, I believe Espinosa is currently looking for the celebrity deathmatch clip.
No, it's in there.
Oh, it's already sent?
Yeah.
All right.
No, it
Check
isn't.
It's the Daily Motion link.
It's not in the private chat yet.
Yes, it is.
It's in the
timestamp 11:48.
It's the Daily Motion link in the middle.
Yeah,
of all
I
of the
can see it
YouTube
right
ones.
here.
Well, if you would have.
Hold on, I'm recopying.
Nope, I
You got it.
Besides, I'm used to using Daily Motion for other stuff. Thank you very much.
I don't want to know
Family
what
show!
other stuff. I was just about to say I don't want to know what other stuff you're used to using, Eric. It is.
Well, I was
Save that
talking.
for-
I was talking
I'm
about
at the
Asian.
point. I'm at the point where I'm not drunk enough for this shit.
I was talking about Asian dramas. Christ, get your minds out of the gutter.
I figured.
Yeah.
I thought he's. Uh-oh.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
It's a Mama Watkins thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
You, out of everybody on this entire network, just tell us to get our minds out of the gutter.
Look, if you want to turn this into Showtime at the Apollo, be my guest. Now is not the time or place.
Let's go to the videotape.
Friday
Yeah.
or Friday? Sunday? Sunday Showtime at the Apollo, bitch. I'll wipe you off the stage like they shoved Steve Harvey off.
Ooh. Oh, great. Now I got to make sure I have the audio going because, Daily Motion. Nope. Wrong button. This is why I usually don't deal with this particular site.
I couldn't find it on YouTube. I couldn't fucking find it on YouTube.
Give me a moment to reset, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back after these words from our commercial sponsors, if we had any.
Stalling.
Are you suffering from tired blood?
Oh,
It's tax season. Do you need your taxes done? Talk to the wonderful folks over at Rick's T&T LLC for all of your tax preparation needs. You can contact them today at, what's your damn email, Eric?
Eric, ERIK.Watkins.19@gmail.com. The most competitive rates around.
For all of your tax preparation purposes and other accounting services, Rick's T&T LLC also offering private tutoring.
I was going to mention the tutoring. You took care of it. Thank you.
Well, now that
Never
you were so
underestimate my ability to improvise, you motherfuckers.
Great game show host, Pillage and Plunder. Celebrity Deathmatch. Good evening, everybody. I'm Johnny Gomez.
I'm Nick Diamond.
And get ready for tonight's punishing star-packed lineup. Bob Barker, distinguished animal rights activist and America's most beloved game show host for over 30 years.
And Ann Robinson, a former Fleet Street drunk, now wowing them in the States with cheeky insults and high ratings. It used to be that aging white-haired male Lotharios were the standard at the helm of America's game show.
But now, cranky hot snot Robinson is here to shake things up and to teach Barker how to treat a lady.
Bob Barker, come on down.
I appreciate this.
Robinson, come on down.
I appreciate the Price is Right lighting effect.
You lady, Ann Robinson, the game show host.
As I am rarely seen moving below the neck.
By the
I
way, there you
refuse
go,
to
Nielsen.
run up and down
There's your
steps like
reference
some
to exposed
godforsaken
tits.
trained poodle.
Can't
More
we
on that
show
next
the
week.
audience a little smile, a pretty face for the viewers at home?
Get your prize happy hands off of me.
Let's get it on.
Robinson has started this fight off with a vicious slapping.
It's a bitch fight.
Enjoy spokesmodels prancing around in skimpy swimsuits, do we? Haven't heard of women's liberation, have we? Tell me, Mr.
Is that a
Barker,
flogger?
what's the price for
Or
women's
not a
rights?
flog? Is that a crop?
Don't you know those
Family show?
Perhaps you would prefer the foot.
Not right now,
Eddie.
Hour on television is taking it on the chin.
You are the weakest link. You are the weakest link. You
Hello, Tide Catchphrase Police. I'd like to report a crime in progress.
You and your wretched little show. Pathetic, flabby Americans trying to guess the prices of trash no one would buy anyway.
Look at this. Robinson is launching into her insulting quiz show shtick.
The indigenous people of Carty Peak Teep are distinguishable by what birth defect?
Enormous hands?
Wrong! Miniature lips!
This bonus round is really taking its toll on Barker.
In the Care Bears movie, Lovey Bear and Kisses Bear do battle with what evil force of nature?
The Prince of Darkness?
Wrong! Harpies! Whose two testicles drive a happy puppy? Someone whose initials are BB, which stands for Bubbling Bastard! Goodbye!
Things aren't looking so good for bumbling Bob Barker.
Your show is just a cheap ripoff of Millionaire and Survivor.
Oh, Barker's extensive karate training pays off.
Now, this 2-bit dominatrix's leg is broken in a number of places. Would anyone like to guess how many places? Contestant number 1.
I'm going to say 12.
Contestant number 2. Well, Bob. Okay. 17 places. And contestant number 3.
All right! Bob, I'm going to bid 1 break.
And the actual number of breaks is 13. Contestant number 1.
Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, I love you, Bob. Oh, my God!
And Robinson is attacking that poor old woman.
Thanks for playing. Let's take the walk of shame, shall we? Yeah!
Look out, and Robinson's got the laptop.
Be careful with that canine.
Get back! Get back, I tell you!
Okay, now, just put down the dog and nobody will get hurt.
You let me win or I twist this mutt's head off.
You don't have the guts, lady.
Oh, yeah?
No! There goes your hostage. I'm afraid I'm going to have to put you down, Robinson.
Holy mother of no children! He took her ovaries!
Bob Barker has just sterilized Ann Robinson.
Now wait, Johnny! It looks like he grabbed a few vital organs as well!
This fight may be over.
I guess the price is death, Johnny. Bob Barker is the winner!
Thanks for playing. And remember, it's our job to control the game show host population. Have your opponents paid or neutered.
Bob Barker has defeated Ann
Where
Robinson
was that
and
clip when we
dispatched her
needed it for
without
Isabel?
a single parting gift.
Oh, trust me, it may make a reemergence.
I apologize for the 2-bit dominatrix laugh. I could not help myself there.
We need this link at some point now.
What was that, Brian?
That was good. It was good. It was okay. It was appropriate. It was good.
That would legitimately pop me.
Okay, so Family Guy. I'm going to list because there's too many clips to name, and I kind of do echo the sentiment of Family Guy might be going a little bit too far on fair use.
Well, with Family Guy still being on the air, I think it probably puts us in more grounds for Fox having an issue.
Unless Seth MacFarlane were to comment.
We can always claim fair use on this stuff, but
well, I was going to say if Seth MacFarlane would magically come in and remember that time that he gave us full and total permission to use these things. Okay, nobody?
Yeah, no, I get what you're getting at, but anyways.
Oh, son of a
And
bitch! I
Nielsen-
give you guys monkeys all the time, and you're gonna no-sell my shit? Dear Jesus.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I didn't get the reference.
I got the reference. I'm sorry, I don't think it was worth a monkey.
I didn't understand the reference. I was distracted. I apologize.
And Nielsen's over there setting up a gimmick that we needed 45 minutes ago.
Anywho,
So, Price is Right references in Family Guy. Brian in Love from 2000. Brian was watching the end of an episode and Bob Barker gave his spayed and neutered side off. A frustrated Brian just says he wish he would just die already. Screwed the Pooch in 2001 features Peter Griffin as a contestant on Survivor. He accidentally knocks over the reality show's backdrop, revealing a taping of TPIR in progress.
I've never seen that clip, and I do kind of want to. I kind of want to see that clip now.
Tales of a Third Grade Nothing from 2008. Prince was on the show and bid $350, a bid Bob does not initially understand, and ends up bidding exactly correct. Fat Guy Strangler in 2005. Contestants row bid a skit. Somebody bids 780. Another contestant bid 781. The 780 guy says, "Fuck you." It Takes a Village Idiot and I Married One from 2007. The Griffins rode the Cliffhangers Mountain Climber, aka Yodely Guy.
I've seen that clip before.
While Cleveland is inside of a Plinko chip.
Lands into zero.
For Drew Carey references, where they had Drew Carey as the host. New Kidney in Town in 2011. We rolled, or I think we were going to roll the clip earlier and we didn't. I'm not sure. But Red Bull paramedics come on down. Another 2011 episode, Stewie Goes for a Drive. A female contestant gets a very crummy showcase, which includes a hammock, chalk, and a trip to Wilmington, Delaware. To much of her disgust, she replies, "I moved my abortion for this."
Jesus.
Wow.
We
That's
mean no
Family
offense.
Guy for you.
We mean no offense to anybody out there.
See, here's the line. Family Guy's on the other side.
The views and opinions expressed here are not the views and opinions of the staff and management of the W2M network.
W2M cares.
I mean, God, that's the third time in the past few weeks we've had to use that disclaimer. And for once, it's out for one of my shows. I feel vindicated.
Technically, you are a part of this show, so you are guilty by association.
Well, technically, I'm part of the staff and management of the W2M network.
That's also fair.
So half of it's invalid to begin with.
So you are technically correct.
I mean, I'm technically also a part of the staff and management of the W2M network, which is why I have to keep making all of these damn disclaimers.
Is there any chance that we could play the Yodely Guy clip? Is that included on your?
Let me finish reading this, and I'll go researching for it. Holy hell!
Okay.
God, now I know how you guys must feel when you get interrupted. Oh wait, you guys haven't stopped interrupting me tonight. Where was I? Oh, right. Mom's the Word in 2014. Evelyn is kissing Peter in The Drunken Clam. Price is Right comes on TV. Another episode called Brokeback Swanson in 2015. Joe tries to watch Price while manipulating the remote control with his mouth. Instead, it causes the volume to increase. In 2016, The New Adventures of Old Tom, a female model of Price was replaced with a male model, as it results in a male contestant on the show rejecting a car that was offered to him in the process. Rich Fields was scheduled to be in an episode of Family Guy, but he was dubbed over when his contract was not renewed in 2010 and was let go.
We'll talk about that in the Drew Carey era. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Go ahead, continue.
Besides the very first mention I made of Brian and Love, not me, the Brian family dog, Brian. Barker and Carey have provided their voices each time they've been featured. In the 2011 episode, Stewie Goes for the Drive, the background music plays similarly to the theme song of Family Feud. Fun fact, Family Feud's theme was used as a car cue on Price is Right. We'll be talking about that more in next week's episode. In the 2016 episode, The New Adventures of Old Tom, which was a spoof title of the 2006 through 10 Julia Louis-Dreyfus CBS sitcom The New Adventures of Old Christine.
I remember watching that.
It was a reference to having Rob Wilson in 2014 be the first male Price is Right model, who has since subsequently been replaced.
Yeah, it's like an Australian guy now. O'Halloran, I think, is his last name.
James O'Halloran was in 2014, and they added a second guy, Devin Goda. They didn't replace O'Halloran. I don't know. Again,
they're both on.
More on that in a couple weeks.
That is part of Carey's run. We will get to that in Carey.
Yeah, but the answer to your question is both are still involved.
I was specifically omitting the names because I can't fact check it right now, and I don't like saying stuff that I can't fact check.
All right.
Anyways, let's go to the only guy.
We have found two of the clips that Brian mentioned specifically. One is the Griffins on Yodely guy. Is Cleveland on the Plinko chip as part of this as well?
Maybe.
All right. If it's not, we might have to look for Cleveland on the Plinko chip too.
Before I go ahead, yep, it's in there. I can confirm that.
Hold on. We need to take a group vote here.
With something like this.
All right.
Because if that is indeed correct,
these links will go in the description.
Penalties will be doubled thanks to recent incidents that are still unfortunately haunting us.
We don't need those points being doubled right now. Thank you.
We're gonna double the points. Wrong. This is
wrong show.
Thank you.
All right. So despite the fact that I set up the introductions there, apparently I am being outvoted, and we will not be airing the Family Guy clips due to the potential copyright nature and the fact that, for as much as they like to poke fun at everybody else, God forbid you use any of their stuff.
Well, Fox judiciously goes after people that post family right content, partly because of their rights deals with Hulu and other streaming services, the proliferation of bootlegged episodes and clips that appear on YouTube all the time. YouTube has just flat out, you do something with Family Guy and YouTube by default just goes to the strictest enforcement action that they can take.
I will
Not
say
to
this.
mention the fact that
Fox feels the need for greed.
No, I was going to say because of previous interactions due to circumstances far beyond our control that happened to us recently, the penalty would be doubled because those consequences are lingering and still be lingering until May 10th. So yes, if that's the case, no. I don't want to be in the dark for 2 weeks when we really got good shit coming up.
All right. So what I will tell everybody is we will include the links to those particular clips, the Lois and Peter on Yodely guy, and the clip with Peter falling through the Survivor's set onto the stage for Price is Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, I named the episodes. I named the years of the episodes. It's not incredibly difficult to try to, Google or YouTube find it yourself. we can try to include the links and the descriptions where accurate, but
already done.
Again, slippery slope on that. Very slippery slope on that. And that's all I'm going to say, and I would prefer we change topic now.
And not the fun kind either. But again, Sunday.
Very well. We'll move forward. Any other major price and pop culture references from that list that we haven't gotten to yet, Brian?
We played one bit from Robot Chicken. There were a couple of other ones. Actually, there was one other one. It was a wheel gimmick. I couldn't find a clip. Other interesting references of note that I can't really find offhand and or too risky to air due to YouTube and other, copyright stuff. Saturday Night Live has parodied The Price is Right 3 times. Price is Right has been mentioned on The Simpsons on a few times. There was a parody of it on Animaniacs, Beavis and Butthead, Rocko's Modern Life.
I remember the Rocko's episode.
For those of you more in the Adult Swim line of things, there's Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Classic.
Again, Robot Chicken's done it a few times. Homestar Runner, the popular internet cartoon series, has done it 3 times.
Some folks say he traffic athlete.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot out there. How I Met Your Mother referenced Price is Right twice.
Obviously,
one of the episodes.
CBS.
One of the episodes had Neil Patrick Harris as a contestant, complete with the Bob Barker appearance.
I want to say that was the episode that Neil Patrick Harris thought that Bob Barker might be his father.
Yes, that is correct.
I remember watching that episode of How I Met Your Mother.
30 Rock.
Once again, we take a moment. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Carry on, Brian.
30 Rock, Bold and the Beautiful, which is a running rivalry of sorts in the Barker era.
Bold and the Beautiful is a CBS soap opera.
Bold and the Beautiful is a CBS soap opera that specifically aired after The Price is Right, usually 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do not ask.
And was notoriously or infamously known for taping on the soundstage directly adjacent to The Price is Right. And on multiple occasions, the crowd from The Price is Right was so loud, they had to stop down, which is television speak for stop taping, on the Bold and the Beautiful set.
Oh, soap opera didn't get recorded. What a shame.
Case of the loud neighbor.
No, a stop down just means a significant delay in recording. Not
all right, somebody just spun a dollar on the wheel. We need to wait a moment.
So my guess
over there. Okay, let's go back to it.
Out of curiosity here, and I feel like this might be a conversation for next week. How many episodes of Price would traditionally be taped at once?
They did 2 a day, and they did a 3-day taping week.
So
if I remember correctly.
So you would tape 6 episodes in a week?
No, one day only did 1 episode.
Oh, so 2, 2, and 1.
Taped it, yeah, they taped a week at a time.
Okay.
Now
cool,
I believe they ended up altering the schedule somewhat so that they could do slightly larger batches of episodes at a time.
Yeah, thanks to a certain somebody who was a producer there.
Actually, I think that was pre-Mike Richards. I do believe that was pre-Mike Richards, though.
Aubergine of the week, as always.
Jeez, how many more bleeping gimmicks.
It's the only one we had a reference today.
I mean, he's not wrong.
We're good.
Very infamous episode of WWE Monday Night Raw, where Bob Barker was the celebrity guest host
and proceeded to feud with Chris Jericho throughout the entire episode.
Because why not? It's Jericho.
I as much as I would love to run some clips from that, I'm going to err on the side of caution and say no.
Yeah,
WWE is another
just
one of those.
WWE is just as bad as
Fox.
Fox is. Well, not to mention WWE is on Fox Network nowadays as well. Their SmackDown program airs on Fox on Friday nights.
Parks and Rec, Meet the Smiths, FX Baskets, Rip Louie Anderson.
I think at this point the point's been made. There's a lot.
Yeah. We will link to the thing here. I'm going to finally post it in the chat now that you guys can't jump ahead of me on the list because we're moving on to Price and Popular or Price 56. I will make quick music references though, because we're not just talking about television here. Weird Al Yankovic's I Lost on Jeopardy references the show with these lyrics. Don't know what I was thinking of. I guess I just wasn't too bright. Well, I sure do hope I do better next weekend on The Price is Right. 1998 rap song called My Flows is Tight by Lord Digga samples the Sheila Cole era TPIR theme song. I'm not sure what they mean by that, to be frankly honest with you. I'll have to look that up. Kid Rock also did a song in 98 called Cowboy, where he has a lyric, and if the price is right, then I'm going to make my bid, boy.
I remember that line from the song.
Bare Naked Ladies, It's All Been Done. Will I See You on The Price is Right?
Ooh, it's all been done.
Actually, somewhat recent. Well, I can't say somewhat recent anymore, but y'all should. This is probably one that people may know because it got a lot of radio play. But the 2011, I don't know why they're calling it a rap song. I think it's more hip hop, be honest with you. But Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's Can't Hold Us. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in My Style.
Yes.
I do not remember that, but in fairness, I don't listen to Macklemore.
That was in the year where I did listen to terrestrial radio.
Now canceled series At Midnight had a recurring segment game called eBay Price is Right.
Which we're going to play some of tonight, by the way. Spoiler.
Real quick there. At Midnight, hosted by Chris Hardwick, who we just discussed last week, has a history and game shows himself with The Wall currently on NBC, as well as the discussed during Love Month, Singled Out. Go ahead, Brian.
Yes.
And one of the most recent popular culture references to Price is Right. The Late Late Show with James Corden. Boo.
I like James Corden.
Boo.
Craig Ferguson was better, but
that's
ding,
a
ding,
high
ding, 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 ding.
That's a high bar to set him to, though.
Well, I'm sorry.
If James Corden has been doing it for how long and he's still crap?
And I'm sorry. Craig Ferguson won, and in my mind, Craig Kilborn 2. I put Corden third. Fight me.
See, I like Craig Kilborn because of the ESPN roots, but that's a conversation that we could have on a different show.
Yeah, we'll save this for a different show as well. Actually, no, we can talk about Craig Ferguson because he is a game show host.
The Hustler. And Celebrity Name Game.
Celebrity Name Game. And didn't he do Family Game Night for a while as well? Or wasn't he going to do Family Game Night? And then he
one episode of The Price is Right.
Oh,
And yes, I was getting to that. We'll be talking about it more in the Drew Carey era for sure. But Craig Ferguson did host an entire episode of The Price is Right with his cast and crew.
Nigel Wick. What's the name of?
Yes, Nigel Wick from the Drew Carey Show.
Yes.
From his show, complete with Josh Robert Thompson announcing. Shadow Stevens announcing. Shadow Stevens was Craig's announcer, who is a very infamous game show announcer from the 80s. And as you may most notably remember him from Hollywood Squares with Peter Marshall and Doug Davidson.
Quick question. Are we going to discuss the April Fool's parodies during the Carey era as well, such as Wayne Brady hosting?
Craig Ferguson's involved in that, so
Craig Ferguson is a is an April Fool's joke, so yeah.
Okay. We'll get more into that. We'll get more in depth on that in the Drew Carey episode.
This is why I said this month the episodes are going to run longer than normal. Do not be surprised if we hit 2.5 hour episodes, not because we're off the rails, but because there's just so much content. Like, this is the most like there isn't even an argument here, right? I mean, hell, it was before my time on the show, but 3 out of the 4 of us voted it as the greatest game show of all time. I mean, very clearly, there is a lot of content and deep dive to be done here.
The defeating Jeopardy in the finals, ironically enough, given he who shall not be mentioned on this podcast.
Rancid Randy?
No, the other guy who always gets the X.
Oh. He already got his He got his 1X for the week.
Yeah, he did. All right, so there's
a lot. Other notable pop culture appearances that you would not expect to have happened. Hey, look, you want a complete and thorough deep dive? We're getting a complete and thorough deep dive.
He ain't lying.
Sesame Street. Not once, but twice.
Yeah, I could see that.
The first one was December 31st, 1986. The Trash is Right. Hosted by none other than, you guessed it, Oscar the Grouch.
Why does it always come back to 1986? Why does it always come back to 1986?
Something about the Miracle Mets.
There's plenty, and I do mean plenty of movies where flash to a television in the background. Oh, hey, it's an episode of The Price is Right. Also, in the realm of kids programming, The Flintstones in 1962.
Already mentioned. Move on.
It's
a 56 reference.
I didn't mention it.
I did.
He did.
Barney Rubble when you
we
mentioned
showed Barney on the Mad TV clip.
Yeah. And here's one for you. The 1979 action comedy film, The In-Laws, features a scene at a bar where Dennis James's syndicated version of The Price is Right is being seen on TV in the background. Again,
if I may have a brief,
there is a link in our private chat, which I will try to make sure that we have in the description
already
here.
added to the description.
I have one last visual reference for you. Can
I sneak in with the
newspaper comic called Pop Culture Shock Therapy with this image. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't copy. I'm sorry.
No, it did not. So, because I've had this one been sitting for a while.
That's my segue out of this.
There you go. That should have hopefully worked. Please tell me if it didn't.
I'm going to have to zoom out, but yes.
Okay. We will end on this, and then I'm done as far as Price is Right in popular culture goes, because this list is so fucking definitive. I don't really think I could find any other references to The Price is Right.
May I go ahead and piggyback off your list for a quick second here? Because I actually have more information about one of the things that you mentioned. As
This is the one that you sent me.
To quote
Yes, it
Jericho, you just made the list.
It is, as the resident wrestling fan here, I did a little bit of research. It is the September 7th, 2009 episode of Monday Night Raw, where you see pictured on your video. Well, I'm showing the I'm giving the actual episode season and episode number 2, season 17, episode 36 on Peacock. If you have the Peacock Premium, the WWE Network, you would be able to go back and watch this. The picture that you'll see for your video viewers of Life is Like a Game Show here is from The Price is Raw with Bob Barker and contestant Chris Jericho. Okay. That's what I had for that. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Carry on, Brian.
I'm done. I got the visual gag, and we're moving on to Price is Right 1956. And I get to turn the floor over to Nielsen for him to start citing the non-credible academic source.
But first, I have a Price is
Wait,
Right
wait,
popular culture.
Let's come on, rewind for like 2 seconds, and let's actually read the. We have audio only listeners. We do need to describe the visual stuff that comes up.
Which is why I just explained the picture that I had for.
Look, I've been talking for like 5 minutes straight. I'd like to take a sip. So why don't somebody else read this, please?
This is Bob Barker reminding you to have your pets spayed and neutered. And apparently Snoopy, Brian from Family Guy, and I'm going to need help on that last one.
I'm trying to. I know it, and I can't think of it. Hold on.
I'm trying to place it myself. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's Snoopy with Charlie Brown, Brian with Peter Griffin, and then I honestly
it doesn't say the reference here doesn't say the third dog, but I know that's another cartoon dog.
And with a caption of "Oh shit,"
or "Oh expletive."
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, it's in a newspaper, so yeah.
It's edited, but yeah, that's the point of it there. The Price is Right cartoon edition. If you can scroll in and go up to the top of the thing for me, I'd like to give proper credit where credit is due here.
As I said before, this is from Pop Culture Shock Therapy. And May 6, 2015 edition.
Popculturecomics.com for the backdating for the image itself.
Artist Doug Bratton.
Thank you. Okay, there you go. Mr. Nielsen, the floor is yours for the non-credible academic resource.
Well, before that, first off, here is the Price is Right reference to popular culture on the Price is Right itself, no less. Yes, the only occurrence of Bill Cullen on the Bob Barker version was when he got brought in on the Price is Right train, sitting there on the couch, because you'll never see Bill Cullen walking around on a set outside of a step or two because of polio. Here he is appearing to plug the 1982 show Child's Play that was debuting at the time. No reference to the original Price is Right was made. So with that, after an hour and a half
plus,
be glad that we kept it to an hour and a half, because we could have went way longer.
I really could have long. I mean, you
I'm
seem
going to be
to
at work in 9 hours, and I'm going to be at work in 8 to 9 hours. You had 9 seasons of the black and white and color. Hey, I get a full screen for this. Thank you, gentlemen. 9 seasons, 2,263 episodes. It ran for 30 minutes. It's a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. NBC from 56 to 63. ABC from 63 to 65. the color transition happening in 57 or 59, depending on whether you're nighttime or daytime, respectively. And yeah, Bill Cullen pretty much did a one bid, and that was the way the show went. There were some interesting moments on this show, like you had the home viewer showcase. Eric, you talked about this last time we did. I'll let you talk about it again.
So, for starters, while this was the introduction of the one bid that became the primary game for contestants to play pricing games in the Barker and subsequent eras, the show actually allowed for repeating bids on certain items. Kept going, then you made your final bid, and then you froze. Now, the most intriguing was indeed the home player showcase. We're talking, first of all, the prizes themselves. One particular prize was a fully furnished house, lot, land, and all. Now, as we reference the perfect bid, which we will discuss in the Carey era, this show was known for it. They told prospective winners and contestants for entries, hey, you can go ahead, do your research. If you can go be the first one to send your postcard in with the exact price down to the penny, which many entrants did, you get to win. No bubbles, no troubles. And if that was just a prize for the home viewers, you're talking your own business with the laundromat van, 40-day cruises, 15,000-piece silverware sets, 40,000-gallon jars of mayonnaise, real fur coats, as was the tradition at the time. This show had a budget.
You had prizes like a 1926 Rolls-Royce with chauffeur, a Ferris wheel, corporate stock, an island.
Didn't they also have? Didn't they also have like an oil well, or at least a share of it?
Yeah, shares of corporate stock. Yes, a Piper Caribbean airplane, submarine, and then for some of these one-bid items, you had a bonus with them. So, accompanying color TV when it was on NBC, you got a live peacock. Accompanying a barbecue pit, here, have it, Angus steer. Got items needed to throw a backyard party? Big band legend Woody Herman and his orchestra come out to perform. Raccoon coat, $29.95. Sable coat, $23,000. That house? Yeah, Oblivion in-ground swimming pool, 16 foot by 32 foot. Trip to Israel? You also get to appear as an extra in the movie Exodus in 1960. Yeah, they got away with giving away big prizes. And they didn't fall victim to the quiz show scandals, even though they're in that time frame.
Not to mention, you also had returning champions as well.
If I may take a quick second here, actually, and I apologize for interrupting your role, Mr. Nielsen. But so I decided while you were going through the rundown of some of the options and stuff there to do a little bit of research of my own here. Oh. And if you are watching the video version of this particular episode of Life is Like a Game Show, a presentation of the W2M Network on YouTube, you can check out YouTube channels Golden Classic TV, all one word, or Sam Mitchell to watch black and white era episodes of The Price is Right from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. And as your announcers, you had Don Pardo, NBC staff announcer, voice even for things like Saturday Night Live through the 90s and early 2000s.
I was gonna say, right before he passed away, right?
That Don Pardo, yeah. But when they jumped ship to ABC, had to get a new announcer. Johnny Gilbert did that duty. And then after this 64, you start getting other shows taking the time slot. To tell the truth, Password takes the slot for a while. I guess another Bill Cullen show takes it. Jackpot, $10,000 Pyramid, and a whole bunch take that slot really until 72 when Price is Right does come back. And I'm getting a timeout sign from Mr. Broadhurst.
You are listening to part 1 of the re-deep dive into The Price is Right, a presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening services: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox. Rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify. Also check us out on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. I think it's actually Apple Play, but same difference. And I'm sure there are
Apple
several
Pods, Google Pods, Overcast, and iHeartRadio.
I think iHeartRadio is part of my original spiel.
And don't forget to rate and review us on Spotify and join us on our Discord.
He mentioned the Spotify bit, but yes, the link to the Discord will be in the description.
And I feel like we owe John there an apology. We kind of cut him off, and then he gave you a dirty look for like, really, you just cut me off to do a plug?
I needed a breath in to find the next point in my spiel here.
We've been running for a while, and we've still got a while of content to go. So I think it's appropriate we run a mid-show plug.
I don't got too much left over.
If you prefer your
folks
podcast,
who are still here with us.
If you prefer your podcast in visual format, you can check us out on twitch.tv. Eric, I'm going to need you to fill in the blanks here.
Twitch.tv/W2Mnet, Facebook.com/W2MNetwork, Twitter.com @W2MNetwork, YouTube.com/W2MNetwork.
There's also the Twitter W2M Lilacs.
We are also
that Twitter no longer exists.
We are also on TikTok at W2M Network 2, because apparently that's a thing.
It's a thing.
All right,
Also,
Mr. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, for the future, I don't know if we need the really long plug, but for those of you who are sitting here as we're going into unknown realm of as I'm breaking Watkins over there talking about long plugs.
Sometimes bigger ones are just
somebody has to tell us to get our minds out of the gutter.
Look, sometimes, especially when you have the sheer girth of content that we do and the wide variety of places where we're open to being found, bigger plugs are sometimes better.
Mr. Nielsen, save us, please.
So, unlike the 70s version, which was filmed out of Television City in Hollywood,
now affectionately known
this
as
version on NBC out of the Hudson Theater in New York City. Yes, New York City, moving to the Colonial Theater on 66th and Broadway. Then when it came to ABC, Ritz Theater took it over.
Why do I have a sudden craving for paste picante sauce? Anyway, continue.
There. You saw what I did there. So, there were times, however, Bill Cullen, because he did a lot of stuff back in those days, if he was on vacation, he had a substitute host, something Bob Barker would never have done in his run. Sonny Fox was also Bud Collier's designated substitute on Beat the Clock in 60. Sam Levinson came in for 2 weeks in 1958. Merv Griffin, yes, that Merv Griffin, the man behind the syndicated duo of doom, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune in 59. Jack Nars, future Concentration host in May of 1960.
And
Video Village along with his brother Tom Kennedy, who would come back to host Price is Right in syndication in the 80s. More on that in week 4, and I see Harry's got a question.
No, Harry has a statement about Jack Nars, who you can also check out as one of the panelists on Tattletales, which we just covered last week here on Life is Like a Game Show. Continue.
Speaking of people on older shows, What's My Line's Arlene Francis hosted a nighttime episode. February 1st, 1961. Female host, even in the 60s. Yes, it did happen. Don Pardo said, screw announcing, I'll host it. New Year's Eve of 59 and December 28th of 62. Mr. Robert Q. Lewis of The Name's the Same. Yeah, damn it, Toby, we are still going because the popular culture took a long time to go through. I am finally getting to talk about the 50s version, but to be fair, there's a lot of substance there that needed the time to go through.
Again. And I'll again, disclaimer, and I'll say it again. This month's episodes will be running long. There is a lot to talk about.
Harry Broadhurst will be seen on these episodes, though, so I'll try to keep them somewhat under control. Continue, Mr. Nielsen. Sorry, Toby.
And Jonathan Nielsen will not be heard tonight as he starts to resume his point while being muted.
At least I'm not as bad as Harry about the mute button. Jack Clark in 65.
I
Johnny
don't know
Gilbert
whatever you're talking about.
So, models, they had a rotating cast, much like the 70s version, various names there. June Ferguson, Tony Wallace, Gail Sheldon, Beverly Bentley, Carolyn Stroop, and others. Substitute announcers when Don Pardo is not available: Dick Dudley, Vic Roby, Roger Tuttle, and Ed Jordan is a fill-in on ABC. Episode status, as mentioned, we're talking 50s and 60s. That silver that's in the videotape, very valuable. Not worth saving these kind of shows back in those days. Tapes got wiped very often. You've got a couple of them in the UCLA Film and Television Archive, among which they have the very first and third episodes from 56. They got a couple of NBC. There's a couple NBC daytime episodes of commercials intact, originally broadcast in early spring and summer of 57. They're around there, out there in the tape collector circuit. You tape traders, you know who you are. And some of them are actually available on YouTube, as Harry did mention.
I was just
There
looking.
is
I was just looking real quick. I was just looking specifically through the dates on the shows on YouTube, and the earliest dated one that I see from what I'm looking at right now is May 27th, 1957, on a YouTube channel called Bill Cullen Net. All one word, B, C, and N, and Bill Cullen Net are all capitalized. Go ahead and continue.
So these four, so some of these episodes that were released later on the Best of the Price Right DVD set, which included the 1964 nighttime finale, didn't have any commercials on there.
Wait. Best of the Price is Right DVD set? This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Came out March 25th, 2008.
I'm going to do some Googling. You guys continue.
Yeah, 4 Cullen episodes, actually DVD released.
I would like to tell you, because I know where you are, in the non-academic credible resource.
Yeah,
the non-credible academic resource. Whatever the hell the damn shtick is. Don't go past that line that you're currently reading, because you're going to infringe on something I'm about to talk about. And if you do, I'm going to abruptly cut you off.
Used copy of the Best of the Price is Right on eBay.
One of the one of those episodes on that DVD.
Speaking of cutting people
is
off,
notable for one, not having an opening, and two, playing a certain episode of the hit game show on the same network, 21, with Charles Van Doren competing against Vivian Nearing. And on DVD, of course, you got the Fremantle Media logo instead of Mark Goodson, Bill Todman Productions, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, speaking of DVDs, I'm going to go ahead and segue this for a moment. And if
can I have a moment real quick?
Never mind, my segue's been
sorry,
ruined anyway.
Your segue has
No,
fallen
it's-
over due to imbalance.
No, it's about the DVD here. I was just going to say that I actually found a copy of this DVD on eBay for $52. The Best of the Price is Right.
Speaking of eBay,
2010.
Harry, you like to do this. Let's play a game.
Real quick, before we do that, let's let Brian have his. Let's let Brian have his say. Go ahead, Brian.
Screw it. We'll cover it in week 4. Fuck it.
I mean, hey, it was an on-the-mall moment anyway, so.
That was a low blow, sir.
That wasn't even appropriate.
Fremantle, on-the-mall, look, it's going to happen anyways.
I'm confused.
Anyway, pull up the share. Yes, this is a DVD of the Best of the Price is Right from the 70s era and later, which is featuring 26 priceless episodes. Boom-tis. This was listed
You're a
on
little
eBay.
out of your shtick.
This was an eBay listing. I have pulled up the current bidding price. And starting up above me with Mr. Eric Watkins, what would you happen to bid closest without going over? Might actually, win something, not necessarily this, but...
Wait a minute. Didn't he just say he found the price of this on eBay or whatever?
Not the same DVD. This is from the 70s version of 26 episodes versus the 4 Cohen episodes that he quoted at $50-something. Different DVD. I had to speed up since before we went on air.
How?
No,
No, it's not. It's the exact same DVD. There's
It
only
is.
one DVD released with about the Price is Right. Because I was literally just about to segue into talking about the Price is Right merchandise and all of that before I was cut off.
Sure, go ahead.
Dead air, folks. Not.
Hey, blame Harry for ruining your gimmick, not me.
Go ahead. Content's yours.
Speaking of things
Damn
that
it.
were appropriate.
Damn it, Toby.
I mean,
so I was going to talk about merchandise at this point. Now it's a little bit of a sore subject. Yes, there was a DVD released. There's also been 7 board games based on The Price is Right. One was a variation of a card game. There were 3 done by Milton. There's several done by Milton Bradley. In 1990, there was a DOS game. DOS / Commodore 64. There was a DVD game with 12 pricing games. Done by
I have
live
that,
show
actually.
host Todd Newton, which I'm getting to in just a moment. There was a second DVD edition in 2008, which featured, which was updated to feature a lot of the changes made in season 36, which introduced a lot of new pricing games. CBS.com featured an online Price is Right based game in the late 1990s, which was routinely plugged in the closing credits of each episode. Ludia, in connection with Ubisoft, launched a Price is Right video game for PC. There was also a port made for Wii, Nintendo DS, and iOS. There was a multiplayer version adapted for Facebook, which was then canned and further readapted to called Price is Right Decades. I believe, Harry, you've mentioned that on air before.
I'm pulling it up on my tablet right now as we speak.
It's also been released in the PlayStation 4 for PS3. There's also an electronic tabletop version that was released in 2008, featuring the contestants row, big wheel, and a physical Plinko board with chips. And then Jack Pacific released a plug it in and play version of The Price is Right in 2009. It was basically plug it in and play was more or less you bought it. It was probably like $20 or something. You had a controller. It had the red, white, and yellow banana plug cables, as they're called in television.
RCA cables, technically.
Multiple terms. You plugged it into your TV and wham bam, hello game show. There was a series of slot machines. I'm going to say that again. There was a series of slot machines.
21 means 21, goddammit.
Technically, with those, you have different rules and regulations as far as slot machines. So...
It's still a gambling setup.
And you should obey those rules and regulations.
Yes, and with those first of all, with those jurisdictions, your slot machines are under highly different regulation as compared to sports books, and not to mention with the infamous rise of internet cafes, especially here, and not even being 21, only being 18. Yes, if you're going to do gambling gimmicks, talking to me, coming at me.
I'm just.
It was a simple setup for a Beda Bovada gimmick. Yes, I'm aware that it may have not been 100% accurate, but it was still a setup. It's been blown. We're moving on. There was a series of slot machines made for North American casinos by a company called International Game Technology. Gameplay varied by machine, but each featured themes and motifs found on the show, including Showcase Showdown, which used themes following Drew Carey. Others featured pricing games as gameplay elements, including Plinko, Cliffhangers, Punch a Bunch, Dice Game, and Money Game. Several U.S. and Canadian state and provincial lotteries are doing scratch card versions of The Price is Right, featuring adaptations again, Plinko, Cliffhangers, Showcase Showdown, and the Showcase in general. Top prizes vary. And last but not least, after the 30th anniversary episode taped in Vegas in 2002, Harrah's began producing live licensed shows called The Price is Right Live at their venues with several notable performers and game show personalities, including Roger Lodge, Todd Newton, George Gray, Randy West, and Dave Walls hosting or announcing. That show has since gone on tour and has gone around the country. I am proud to say I have attended it twice. There is a third one coming up here in Lakeland towards the end of March, I believe. If I have the opportunity to go, I will.
We'll see.
And we will talk more about The Price is Right Live specifically because it differs dramatically from the regular show when we get to the end of March as part of our syndication and other formats week episode.
Gentlemen, I still want to play a live game. But since somebody had to go find a price of something I was planning on doing a one bid with, we've changed the item up for bids. I have found via Pristine Sales a listing online sales for a seasons 1 through 18 complete DVD box set of the series NCIS, also on CBS. I will let Mr. Watkins open the bids. I will round this to the nearest dollar, of course.
$60.
Eric opens at 60. Harry, your opening bid can be any amount.
45.
16.45. Brian?
What are we playing? Doug Davidson price? I bid $1.
Opening at $1. Okay. So, Brian, you are opening at the lowest bid. you have the option now. Do you freeze at 1, or do you bid higher than the current highest bid of 60? I think this is how they did in the 50s.
I was going to say, what the hell version of 1 bid are we playing here?
This isn't
The
technically
50s
one
version, because that's what we're covering this week.
First of all, this isn't 1 bid, but this is how they did the majority of their pricing games in the 50s. So, to clarify, yes, you go ahead, you open at the lowest amount, so you can either freeze or you can beat my bid of $60.
I'm going to freeze because I've got no idea what's going on here. Sorry, I've never watched Cullen Price.
You're muted, Jonathan, which is ironic coming from me.
Because I have to keep unmuting because somebody here keeps 2 people in the same room. So the way this works, everybody bids once, and then we keep going around until somebody either freezes or bids higher than the previously highest bid. If everybody goes over, will we deal with the everybody's overbid and such? Should that rise?
I'm staying where I'm at.
Which means Eric gets automatically locked in as the highest. He gets also frozen at 60. And I say, y'all are cheapskates. Eric is going to walk away with this because it's valued at $220.
The highest I was honestly going to go was 75. And no, Toby, your bids don't count.
Oh, Toby would have stole it. Damn it, Toby. But that's how it would go. For example, I have a clip. And I just need to get the right time signature, so give me a second here. And time is... I don't think we have to worry about copyrights from a show that's probably already public domain because it's been that old. A test episode from November 19th, 1956.
All right, let me get this up and going. Complete with the timestamp. Thank you.
So I've already done 2 items up for bids. This would be the 3rd. First was a color TV. Second one was one with a bonus. I forget what it was, but here's our 3rd item.
Here it comes. Actually, you'll see it described on there. It is a poster. We invite you to bid for a glamorous 20-day cruise for 2 to the Caribbean on the luxurious SS Ocean Monarch of the Furness Whitty Lines. Now, you're going to visit beautiful Trinidad, exciting Havana, San Juan, St. Vincent, and many other fabulous tropical islands. Now, I tell you this so you'll be able to figure the price. Accommodations are 2 beds and Pullman on B deck. B as in boy. Good thinking. Now, the price authority for this one is the Furness Whitty Company, and we'll begin the bidding this time with you, Miss Scott.
$500.
Miss Scott starts the bidding at $500. All right, ma'am. And now, Mrs. Fliss.
Sounds like a good cruise. I'd pay $700 for it.
$700. Don't forget accommodations for 2 and a Pullman. You can take your own Pullman with you on B deck. Now, you, Mrs. Russell.
I didn't hear her bid. What was it?
$700, ma'am.
I'll bid $1,000.
$1,000 comes from Mrs. Russell over there. And Mr. Gates.
$1,050.
$1,050 for Mr. Gates. 1050 is up. Back to you, Miss Scott.
$1,100.
I think in the first round, if you go under somebody previously, you're automatically frozen on that first bid.
$1,250 says Mrs. Fliss. And the bidding goes up. Back to you, Mrs. Russell.
$1,275.
Yes, ma'am. $1,275. Mr. Gates, sir.
$1,285.
$1,285. Miss Scott.
$1,300.
$1,300 is the bid. Mrs. Fliss.
$1,500.
$1,500.
I can see why these older episodes you only did these 1 bid things.
How many days was it?
I have to go back and look. Just a moment. How many days? 20-day cruise, 4-2.
Ooh.
And 20 nights, too.
$1,525.
$1,525. Thank you, Ms. Russell. Mr. Gates.
$1,575.
$1,575, says Mr. Gates.
The bell's probably going to be coming soon.
$1,600.
$1,600. Mrs. Fliss.
$1,650.
$1,650. Back to you, Mrs. Russell. 20 days, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
$1,655.
$1,655. Thank you, Mrs. Russell. Mr. Gates.
$1,658.
$1,658.
Very careful.
That's a nice round number. Miss Scott, what would you say?
I will freeze at
So we're seeing a little bit of the one-upsmanship.
1,600. Miss Scott freezes. Just my kind of luck. How about you, Mrs. Bliss?
Well, I like more rounded numbers.
I know a very nice round number in Pittsburgh.
$1,675.
$1,675 for the top bid. Mrs. Bliss now has a nice round number. How about you? Would you like to round out your number, Mrs. Russell?
No, I think I'll pass. My last bid.
You're going to pass. You stay right at $1,655. That leaves us Mr. Gates.
I freeze on that, too.
Mr. Gates stops at $1,658, and that automatically closes the bidding. All right, let me review these bids for you now. Mrs. Russell says $1,655. Mr. Gates says $1,658. Miss Scott says $1,600.
I think they're all under.
Came up with $1,675. And Beverly, let's see what we have here. I will open this. This is our highly secret type card. Oh, you're all in for a doozy of a surprise along about here, kids. The actual value of this Caribbean trip is $950, which means you have all overbid. You all now I'll tell you what happens when you all overbid. We keep this; it automatically goes along with the next set of bidding, and because you all have overbid, no one is going to be eliminated along about this time. So on the next one, we'll have this.
Pause for a moment. If one person overbid, but not everybody, they're locked out of the next round entirely. So that's how you handle you all overbid. Back in these days, it's like, no, it's just a bonus that carries on to the next one.
Rolls over.
I can understand why they changed the one bid rules.
Well, again,
this was all the show was, just repeated rounds of this.
Exactly. You had, like pricing games, this was it. Plus, even with the multiple bids, a lot of those were timed. That's why I say the bell's coming soon. If you heard a bell, everybody had their last bids, and then they were frozen.
Yeah,
okay. You're giving me those thumbs downs here, but let me ask you this. What show before this one dealt with pricing items?
Okay, first of all, I'm not giving you a thumbs down. I'm giving the concept a thumbs down. I don't like it.
It hasn't aged well at all. But without this, you wouldn't have the current Price is Right. You wouldn't have Shopping Spree, Shop Till You Drop, any of those 90s like mall backdrop kind of shows. None of them would have. Supermarket Sweep would not have existed without this.
Supermarket Sweep was more about knowledge of products than it was about pricing of products, though, to an extent. There were a couple
that dealt with products before this one.
Part knowledge of products, but when you went for the big sweep, you had to have prices and everything in your head so you could shop smart, get that big total, and go for the $5,000. And fair. When it was appropriate, the 2 Geo Metros.
Why are you all looking at me, expecting me to start talking about Supermarket Sweep? I'm intentionally keeping my mouth shut because I don't want to be here for another hour when we're all complaining about the land speed records of the network.
I'm not mad at all about the episode going to.
I think I've said everything that needs to be said about this show. So if you want to take us home, Harry.
Do we have anything else to touch on from anybody here, Eric?
I mean, with the fact we covered everything, stay tuned for when we go into our deep dive of the Bob Barker era next week.
Brian?
I got nothing.
No news desk?
We don't have any news desk this week.
No news desk this week.
We will give our overall show rating upon the wrap-up of the Price is Right deep dive. That'll be in week 4. I have a funny feeling.
Do we want to do that? Because I think if it's to the point where we have to. Thank you, John. Can you?
Yeah, I'd argue let's actually rate these all separately because I think we're going to differ on Cindy's, et cetera, et cetera.
All right,
radical differences.
All right, very well. In that case, we get to the show rating for this particular version of The Price is Right. Then we go to the Bill Cullen era. There, you guys just got a sample version of it there, based on what our video viewers saw there. They got the full effect. Our audio listeners got the audio clip from the YouTube clip that was played there. The clip will be posted inside of the show description if you want to go watch it in visual format as well. Jonathan was nice enough to include the timestamp for Eric as well in order to show you the specific clip that we played. But I'm assuming that's a specific full episode that you.
It is part of a full test episode. Yes.
Okay, so you'll be able to view that there. All right, so then we'll go around the board and do a show rating for the Bill Cullen era of The Price is Right then, and we'll start with Jonathan Nielsen.
I mean, it was, again, it's not the best show out there, but it set the bar and set a lot of things in motion that were improved upon later. I give it a 65. A D. A barely passing D, but left a lot of room for improvement that was taken up later on.
Mr. Espinoza.
I will preface this by saying that the clip that I just saw and the descriptions that I heard are the only interaction that I have had with this particular era of Price. But with that said, I am going to give it definitively the harshest grade that I have given any show so far to date on this network, and probably will not be topped. And that is the actual Big Fat Goose Egg.
That's a 0.
Yes, that is a 0.
Uh-oh.
Pay no attention to the picture in.
I removed that temporarily.
I sent shenanigans afoot over there. Anywho,
I gave him a 4-second warning.
Mr. Watkins, we've officially lost Brian.
Not just for everything of where it was. Now, I'm not even going to look at it at a holistic thing, because if you're looking at it holistically, it's going to be lower. I'm going to give, just like we had one of our lowest, or the lowest grade so far this series, I'm giving it one of the highest. For the quirkiness, for the prizes, for everything going on, I'm telling you, don't just judge it by the test episode. Not exactly the best example. Go ahead and do further research, because there's a lot going on. Even bonus games and stuff where Don Pardo is involved, I'm giving it a 95. I'm going there. Go right ahead.
I will openly admit to not having seen a ton of it. I do have some episodes pulled up for YouTube for post-show viewing that I will be getting to. So I reserve the right to change judgment on this when we do next week's episode at the beginning. Based on what I have seen of this version of The Price is Right, I'm putting it in the 50s. Probably around 50, 55-ish. It is subpar compared to what it would become, but you can see what it would become off of its origins. You get the idea behind the one bid that would eventually become the staple of the show. And before all of the other pricing games that we came to know and love started coming into play in the 70s. Because the game that Mr. Espinoza mentioned earlier, that Price is Right Decades game that I held up my tablet to show you guys while he was discussing it, it actually only starts in the 70s. It doesn't go back to the one bid Cullen era. It starts with the pricing games from the 70s. So
yeah, the current folks don't want to even reference this guy even existing for reasons, because it's completely different.
The show isn't really canon to what we know The Price is Right as now. It's almost like it's almost like that redheaded stepchild of the Price is Right family in a sense.
For a show relevant when we debut the BWSR, or original USFL versus current USFL, I'll explain more when the time comes.
Very well. I'm going to put it right around a 55 for me. It's below passing, but it's not so awful that I won't go ahead and do my research and give it another chance by watching a couple of the older episodes that are in existence on YouTube. That being said, you have been listening to part 1 of the deep dive of The Price is Right, a presentation of the W2M networks here on W2M Network on Life is Like a Game Show, online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening services. I've already done the spiel twice, folks. Rewind. As far as everybody's individual activities there, Mr. Nielsen, where can people find you online?
Twitch, Twitter, JTN2002, Instagram, JTN2002NY. Wait, we have TikTok? Yeah, I do too, JTN2002. Don't expect any content from me. I just reshare everybody else's good stuff. That's pretty much it.
Mr. Espinosa, where can people find you online?
I'm here on the network, League to the Max, or whatever point of view or dates have moved around. Join Discord.
Pay attention to your listings in order to find his show specifically. Mr. Watkins?
Disembodied Voice on League to the Max on Mondays, Point of Viewer on Sundays, Soccer to the Max at dates to be determined, potential BWSR Thursdays, at Squid Sports Head on Twitter, similar situation to JTN on TikTok. You know where to go ahead and find me on other platforms and which DMs to slide into for even more platforms.
Before I give you guys my information and we get out of here, Mr. Espinosa, why don't you go ahead and give everyone a quick rundown of what's coming the rest of this month here on Life is Like a Game Show?
Yes. So if you are joining us midway through the episode here, thank you very much for tuning in. Since you may have missed it at the beginning of the show, this is Price is Right month here on Life is Like a Game Show, a production of the W2M Network. As you have just listened, this week was... Oh, I see you up there, Harry. I'm trying to do this semi-professionally. Thank you. This week we were talking about The Price is Right in popular culture, an explanation as to why we're doing this again. And we also talked about Price is Right, the original version with Bill Cullen, 1956. Next week, we will be talking exclusively about Bob Barker's run of the show, the wonderful 35 and some change years of the show. We'll be talking about pricing games, the cues, Bob Barker himself, crazy notable moments. I mean, next week, if you thought 2.5 hours was long this week, folks, it's going to be about the same length, if not longer. I promise we're not going for the land speed record here on W2Mnet. It's not a joke. But due to the nature of what we're talking about this week, like I mentioned before, or this month, like I mentioned before, there is a lot of ground to cover. So if we don't talk about something, if we didn't talk about something this week, or if we don't talk about something, on an episode at all this month, if you think it should have been covered, first of all, please join our Discord or tweet at one of us. Let us know, hey, you guys, forgot about this, or did you know about this? We have an entire segment of our fourth week, the last week this month, to talk about stuff we missed, because we know we're probably going to miss some things. But yes, this week was Price and Popular Culture and the original 56 version. Next week, we're talking about nothing but Bob Barker. Third week, we are going to be talking about Drew Carey, and part of Drew Carey, we will be talking about the Perfect Bid incident. And then, like I said, our fourth week, we're talking about introductions. Or sorry, why did I say introductions? We're talking about international, not introduction. We're talking about international versions. We're talking about the syndicated versions. We're talking about the prime time specials. We're going to talk, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about Price is Right Live, the traveling stage show. And pretty much anything else we might miss, because, again, very, very big. 50 years on television, folks. There's a lot to unpack here. So stay tuned with us for the Price is Right month here, the entire month of March on Life is Like a Game Show here on the W2M Network. Thank you, Harry.
And if you're just listening to us for the first time, we promise we actually do like each other. It just doesn't always seem like that when we're recording a show.
Yeah, we have strong opinions. Sometimes they don't agree.
I think it's been a rough day for the majority of us, and it is shown on the episode. I promise you, folks, our shows are not normally like this. We'll get the internal strife and stuff sorted out for next week.
Keep it a 0, man.
I will openly admit here, I was not in the best of moods doing the show today. I had an issue with my stepdad earlier in the day. It has been a rough night mentally. Like, I made the joke about not showing up tonight. Me and Eric had a bit planned for the start of the broadcast that didn't come to fruition, but there was a joke there. It was honestly considered at one point that I wasn't going to be able to do the show today because of everything that went down with my stepdad earlier. That
4 sessions. I say no more.
So hopefully things go a lot more smoothly, a lot more regulated next week, and we can get into the Bob Barker era of The Price is Right and do it the justice that it deserves. As for all 4 of us, the Bob Barker era of The Price is Right shaped a lot of our formative years watching game shows in general. I am at HEB the Eagle pretty much everywhere social media related, Facebook, Messenger, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Had a TikTok briefly, don't have it anymore. Had a Snapchat briefly, don't have it anymore. I apologize. I swallowed some spit by mistake there. All right. Try this
Family show?
No, just
not for that one.
Eric, talk for a second.
So anyways, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Trust me, it's going to be a wild ride this month.
All right, I'm good. My plugs real quick here. Shut up, Watkins. Point of View are on Sunday nights now. Myself and Mr. Espinoza are the disembodied voices.
Speaking of disembodied voices, you're not the only one that can drink out of a 2-liter bottle on this show, damn it.
That is a little bit of subtle gimmick infringement going on over there.
Mine's empty.
And just think, I finished off my Jarritos Guava with dinner earlier. Otherwise, I would have too.
Anyway.
Oh, would you rather me talk about Chihuahua instead, Mr. Espinosa?
Oh, did you finally get some of your inferior seltzer back in stock?
Anyways, these two will continue their bickering on Point of View or Sunday.
Yes, where we will hopefully be talking about hard seltzers as one of our topics, because I'm still trying to get my hands on the new Mountain Dew hard seltzer.
I will have absolutely nothing to do with that conversation. I'll just smile and wave, penguins in Madagascar style. Eric teased it. I will officially confirm it this Thursday night in what normally would have been the Life is Like a Game Show spot. The Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report, Sports in Black and White, debuts on the W2M network. We already have a series of things to talk about, going from the MLB lockout to what's going on with FIFA and Russia, to Ja Morant going off, and other assorted NBA stories like the James Harden trade as well, to covering our sport of the week. The sports spotlight this week will be on cricket because Watkins insisted.
Does this mean I have to archive the kickoff stuff in our Discord and create the Watkins Broadhurst Sports Report or whatever now?
BWSR. It's just easier to call it that.
But in essence, yes.
More or less, yeah. The kickoff.
Put that in our leadership part of the Discord so I can get to it when I get to it.
The kickoff as we know it is no more, unfortunately. We will still talk football on BWSR, and one of the things that Eric and I actually plan to do on BWSR is live alternate commentary for Thursday Night Football once the season starts. At least on some of the games, maybe not all of them. Depends on if the game is good enough for us to want to do live alternate commentary on. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm going to say something really quick because I'm looking at the live comment feed. Toby, you need to be damn careful about what you say because you said something that shots fired to Eric, and I'm pretty sure he will physically harm you over that comment.
Especially when you're, I don't know, England and Australia and India and Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Yeah. And if you're so haunted about the Discord, do like everyone else. Check the description for links. It's actually in the live videos now. I make sure to put it there at the start of every show.
Remind me, the other thing I need to do, which remind me in our leadership thing as well, just because it's on my head right now, to talk to Sean about setting up a automated bot for the Twitch channel so that it can actually post the Discord link in the Twitch chat on a regular basis while shows are on air.
That would actually be a really good idea.
Yeah. Hey, Harry.
Yes.
Where can people find you on social media?
I already said that, Jonathan. Thanks for paying
You did?
attention.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time.
It has.
Ooh, this has been a longer than normal episode because the Price is Right, lots to talk about, yada, yada, yada. Quote what Brian said 3 times ago. It's 2.5 hours of show.
Hit the intro. Let's go. Good night.
Or
the outro.
Oh, there is one more thing we must say. Remember, have your bracket builders spayed and neutered since we're in Price is Right month.
Let's also
Get us
take
out
a
of here,
quick,
Harry.
Let's take a quick moment to wish a happy belated birthday to said bracket producer as well, Randy Isbell. You'll see more of Rancid Randy on Point of Viewer coming up later this month as we discuss the greatest sports movie of all time tournament.
Selection Sunday, March 13th. That's when our madness will begin. Stay tuned.
March 20th, the quiz show goes on trial.
For Brian Espinoza, Jonathan Nielsen, and Eric Watkins, I am Harry Broadhurst. You have been listening to Life is Like a Game Show, Part 1 of the Price is Right Deep Dive. It's going to be a long month, folks. A presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. Thank you for listening. W2M. We'll see you guys next week.